Can't be doing this, Jenna. I showed the world can't be doing this.
Yeah.
For me, it cost me a lot of money. There was a couple dongs out since then in the back of locker room photos and videos because it is a active locker room. You're in an active locker room while you're filming.
Free.
Jenna Lane, Greg Allman are the most vocal in this video that you're about to watch. Giovani Bernard, we believe, had already showered, gotten dressed, and was on his way out of the building to go see his family. Now, if this is handled in a proper fashion, you be the judge and just have your ears open for how Gio's being talked to here by people who help the sport, Media Matter, but just the tone.
Yeah, the overall tone.
Just the tone of talking to this professional athlete, okay, who's played a lot of football.
Long time.
Long time.
Very good.
Very well known as a good guy.
Good guy, good football player.
Consummate professional.
This is their interaction in the locker room via cell phone from Jenna Lane.
Well, you were injured all year.
What have you done for us to talk to you about all year?
What have you
I
done
talked
for
to you
us?
Tuesday. Don't say you're not talking because I didn't talk to you all year.
You were also injured most of the season, too.
Can I go to my family that I have outside? And
You
all
can.
of a sudden now?
Just don't say we didn't talk to you all year.
We just wanted to ask for your perspective on what happened
You're
there.
involved in one of the biggest plays of the game.
Okay.
Thank you, Jew.
I appreciate your
all.
time, we do.
We won't hold you.
We won't
We
hold
would
you.
have talked to you in the season, but also you were injured.
Just tell us what occurred on the punt.
Miscommunication, that's all it was on my part. I take complete fault for that.
That sounds
Is
like
it a fake?
like a porn
I don't know.
video there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Fault.
We won't hold
My
you.
fault. That's it.
Did
that
you
something
know
the
if
team
it was
hasn't
done?
practiced?
It's
Good
all
dance
me.
for us.
All me.
Pay you
That's,
5,000 to
something I
10,000
did wrong,
a month.
and that's all.
So you
It was
weren't
all
aware?
on me. Yep, number 25 out there, that was me. I was the one that did it.
But were you aware
It
that
was
it was
just
a
me.
fake?
Yeah, I messed up.
I understand.
Seething
I'm just
inside.
asking if you knew.
Yeah.
I
We
messed
just
up.
didn't know if it was a communication
Yeah, I
breakdown.
messed up. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
So I'm happy they got the answer. I do believe in professional sports, you do have to answer for your mistakes. So I appreciate the fact that they did have him answer some questions. But the tone, I think, is what everybody's like, hey, that's a human.
Yeah,
okay?
come on.
That's a human as well as a professional athlete. AQ, your thoughts? I think you know Jenna. I think you know Greg Allman. And I assume they're good people, and it's not normally like this. But just like the tone of entitlement and like, what why would we talk to you? What have you, like
Yeah,
that
what have
whole.
you done all year?
You've been
Been
hurt.
hurt.
You haven't done shit, basically. Like, okay, bro. Like, I'm surprised Gio kind of did with his face. But I don't think he was trying to run. I think he thought he provided the allotted amount of time to sit there and answer questions. He was heading to his family. That tone, though, AQ, your thoughts on it and everything?
Tough tone. It was a tough tone. I mean, that was the first thing I said when I came in here. It's like, listen, like your job as journalists, like I get it. Like we have to answer hard questions as professional athletes. I'm 100% all for that. But to sit there and repeatedly fucking go at them about, well, you've been injured all year. Like, belittle almost a guy who's played over a decade in the NFL at a very high level. And I mean, I don't even think Greg Allman probably thought that the ricochet shots were going to be coming his way because, like, I don't think he thought this tweet was going to be put out there. And then Jenna puts it out there. Now he's probably sitting there like, fuck, I sound like a...
Well, you have been fucking injured.
Well,
like
you
that.
have been injured. Huge prick. Well, we would have talked to you, but you've been injured, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like
It's interesting, and people are going to say, they're just got to do their job, and I think that's how they framed it. Pewter Report, whenever Giovani Bernard tried to run out of the locker room before answering questions or something like that, it's like, did he? He looks like, unless he's like, what's his face in a phone booth, Superman, whoever that is.
Clark Kent.
Unless he's able just to walk in that locker room and be like, doof, and then he's just in full clothes with a backpack. Because football equipment takes a little bit of time.
Would assume he showered.
Would assume he had to shower. Probably had some conversations with some people who didn't want him to ask him questions, but said like, hey man, shit happens. Like his teammates, his coaches probably coming up to him. So I don't know. I don't know where the miscommunication lies. It's just like, hey, relax. This is when the reporters are asked somebody a question and they've already had the story written and the answer isn't good enough for their story.
Yep.
So they ask another question and another question. They're trying to get an answer however they can get it. And it's like, your job is to report on what answer was given. And I know I'm a member of the sports media now, so I guess that we fall into this whole world. And it's not every media person. There's a lot of incredible media people out there. But when moments like this happen, it's hard to get sympathy from anybody because I think in 2022, as opposed to maybe in the past where the media was always right, now it's like, yeah, actually, why can't you just say, hey, Gio, before you get out of here, can we just get a quote on the the punt that obviously didn't go well, as opposed to, why would we talk to you all year? You've been injured. You haven't done anything. You're part of the biggest play. Yeah, well, why would we?
And was that the biggest
suck
play?
at football. Why would, kind of big.
It was big. Was it the
17
biggest?
zip at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
No, but it is 17.
If momentum was real, that was kind of the turn of it. Momentum's not a real thing in football.
There was a lot of people tweeting that after our conversation last week with D-Butt, Coach Lou Anarumo, and the whole momentum conversation where the stats can't keep up with momentum. Lou Anarumo, actual defense coordinator in the actual real, world that we live in the actual NFL, said, whenever you feel you have momentum, you got to roll with it. Then it happened. Literally, in
What do you know?
just 4 days later. But you can't document it. So I guess there are some people that need to see cold, hard facts about momentum. But it was certainly a big play. I think it was a big play. I think he should have answered. I think he should have had to answer a question about that because there's a lot of us wondering what the fuck happened. Long snapper was probably hoping that he would answer a question about that. Special teams coordinator probably hoping he would answer a question about that. But I just think we can go about it a different way. All parties involved.
Well, yeah, because it seemed like when they didn't get the answer that they wanted, and you start saying stuff like that with tone changes, it's almost like they're trying to elicit a response of it. Like they want him to explode. It's like, all right, well, if he's not gonna talk about this and give us the answer, like let's poke him and prod him, and maybe he'll fucking snap on someone in here, and then guess what? Like that, it's
We are going to crush him.
Exactly.
This unprofessional
Right.
backup running back who has been injured all year and has done nothing for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, who is a shell of themselves from years past, also was the only person on the field that didn't know a fake punt was happening, and he's the only person that has to know. That's the story of Giovani Bernard in 2022 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, you could see that easily, and that would all be true.
Yes.
All that would technically be true. It wouldn't be if he did blow up and explode and all that. But it's like, I just don't know why it has to be that way. And a lot of people on the internet are acting like, that's how it has to be. It's like, I don't think it has to be, though. I personally don't think that has to be the case.
Yeah, no chance. And, talking about momentum, it's not as if the next play, the Bengals score a touchdown. Like, they only ended up with a field goal on that possession. And, it was because of the fake punt. But then even thinking about, Bernard's mindset probably coming into this season, he's not the third string running back because they don't have Rashad White, right? Because I haven't drafted him yet. And then you're also thinking like, okay, I haven't had, a solid shot at the Super Bowl really in my career down in Tampa with Tom, what they have going on. Like the expectation of the season is probably like, hey, I'm going to be a great, contributor, third down back, probably something I've done for most of my career, and we're going to be a great team. And obviously right now the expectations in Tampa aren't what they, are where they should be.
Jenna Lane had the back and forth with Todd Bowles from training camp too, right?
Yeah, I think early in the season. I don't think it was training. I think it was beginning of the season. But yeah, that was her.
She's, journalist, is how she probably views it. Like, hey, this is how I'm getting the quote. I have to do the story. This is how I got to do. And I think there's schools that literally teach people to be that way. So I appreciate all the hard work to become a journalist and get access to get in there. It's not easy to get licensed and badged and all that stuff to be in an NFL locker room afterwards. But also let's remember everybody's human. Hey, let's remember everybody's human, and let's make the world a better place.
It's also interesting that they went straight from Bowles to Bernard because, he did have that play, but I think Tom threw like 2 interceptions and had 2 fumbles too. And
He has a press conference, I think.
they didn't go straight.
So there's press conferences. Some guys get to go into the podium.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Yeah. Right. Tom also has been, just as fed up, or at least from my experience, more fed up in those press conferences than he has ever been. Like last week was the whole entire game plan conversation.
I'm not going to address.
Yeah, exactly.
No comment or something.
Next question.
Never mind Tom Brady's 4 turnovers against a fairly tough defense. Okay, what does that have to do with everything? Anything. What next? You want me to provide him with a coloring book too?
What does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't understand
What
that.
does that even mean?
I don't know.
Man,
I'll tell you what, she was putting out a lot of tweets last night because I obviously...
Doubling down. Like doubling down.
Not just doubling down, but I think her internet existence for a while is going to be... There's going to be a lot of mentions of her apologizing. You know what I mean? Like, look at that 421 replies right there. Are you on her profile right now? Zoom out. There's a couple other ones here where is this tweets and replies? No, go to her whole account. Yep. She put out like some stats.
that's a great story.
Yeah, right here. Look at 358 responses right there. The Brady was also blitzed just 3 times in the first half, and on 2 dropbacks in the second. Yet his pressure rate went from 12.5% in the first to 31.8% in the second. But it wasn't necessarily them to get to him faster. Spent longer in the pocket in the second half. Click on that tweet. Yep, that one. Now go to the replies there.
First one.
You need to be fired. This is embarrassing. Go ahead. This is every response. Here, Jenna, Indeed.com. Did you berate Brady in the locker room? This is going to be her. That was about Tom Brady, something else. 400 some replies. 390 of them are all the this is going to happen, I think, going forward. And I'm happy to see that. Not happy for Jenna that have to experience that. Nobody enjoys that being their internet. And I assume she can address this and handle this if she'd like to. It doesn't seem like she will. But back in the day, the player would have been the fucking prick right there.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody would have buried the player. The player, every single thing that he said would be like, there's a little crybaby that doesn't want to talk to the media. You know what I mean? Like, that's what would have been back in the day. Now it's seemingly a bit different. Good luck to all parties.